Hello and welcome to HorsePlayers Happy Hour. Everybody watching live, if you're watching the replay on the In the Money Media YouTube channel, the Breeders' Cup YouTube channel, I'm your host, Peter Thomas Fornatel. We're going to be here for, roughly the next hour and a half. I'll tell you everything about what we are doing in the course of time, but we'll start off just by saying, hey, it's great to have folks with us and really looking forward to today's show. We're going to have racing from Del Mar and Saratoga. We're raising money for charity, specifically the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, who do the important work of accrediting the various aftercare organizations, and also Therapeutic Horses of Saratoga, the place where Kim Weir, our founding charity partner, now works. It's a great place. I've had the opportunity of going down there and experiencing what it's like. They do equine-assisted therapy, but they also just let you hang out with horses through their horseplay program, which is really, really cool. So it's getting late if you haven't signed up for the game already, but you do still have about a minute. You could hop in. You could play all the fours. No one will judge you. Horseplayers.com. That's the place to go to get involved. If you miss this week's game, you can get involved next Thursday as well, because this HorsePlayers Happy Hour Tour is happening every Thursday. We have a 5-horse field at Del Mar to start things off. There's just 3 horses really in the betting, the 2, the 3, and the 5. You can take out the 4 as we start things off at 5.5 furlongs on the dirt out at sunny Del Mar, where I will be in just a couple days' time. Tuesday, actually, I head out there. So that's going to be very, very fun. Let's hear what Matt Miller has to say. May you win all your disqualifications. Dramatic turn of events in the last race. Always a bit odd to see the third best horse in the race get put up in the winner, but the right result, in his opinion. What didn't see it? I was at the track earlier today, and I realized 3 things. One thing I realized is that I'd forgotten my headphones for the 3rd consecutive week. Not good on me. The second thing was I'd forgotten my power cord for the 3rd consecutive week. Not good. I was maybe 6 to 5 to make it through the show. Not odds I want to take, drop out, and make potentially Frank and Matt, who I think will be on for the second hour. Frank Scatoni, that is, our Del Mar expert, do the work of hosting the show. Didn't want to make that happen. And then I also realized that since I'm going to this charity dinner tonight for the Belmont Child, the Backstretch Association, that if I left from the track, I would be a lot later than if I just left from home. So they have popped at Del Mar, and this lovely gray, the 2-runner, very silvery, dark silvery gray horse called It's a Factor, is trying to make the lead. There's an 8-5 favorite, Cardinal Spirit, up to that one's throat latch. Both jockeys pumping a little bit on the backstretch. 2's going better than the 5. That's It's a Factor. But Cardinal Spirit in pursuit, and maybe now picking up some momentum around the turn. Your even money favorite is called Terry's Service. This horse is under urging, but not really picking up, at least not yet. Heads are turned for home, and the lovely gray, It's a Factor, now putting about a length on Cardinal Spirit, and it's looking like a little bit of a conveyor belt here, folks, in the stretch. It's a Factor is gone. Battle is for second. Cardinal Spirit looks like just going to hold off Terry's Service for third, and that's how they hit the wire in race number 1 at Del Mar. Dom, it's always funny to say my mother's boyfriend when you're talking about people who were in their 70s and 80s. Dom, who passed away last year, he would have had that one. He loved a bet on a lovely gray. It's a Factor getting the win. We'll give you some prices. Probably a good contest horse. 7. There's only 3 in the betting, right? And one's evens, one's 8-5. And then, 7-2 into the teeth of that. It's like bet just enough. Might make a little difference in this little 7-race contest we're doing over at horseplayers.com. So I have a feeling this one will be a popular one. We will very shortly get to our leaderboard once we have prices. Jonathon Kinchen, JK, going to be with us shortly. Chris Couples pointing out that Terry Service, the 3-runner, missed the break there. That is the kind of thing that if I were a real race caller and actually watching the break, I would have noticed. But, I'm just having fun in this video-free world, trying to do my thing. It's pretty funny. Oh, this is interesting what Matt Miller says about therapeutic horses of Saratoga. Even people nervous around horses will love the therapeutic horses Saratoga Farm Tour. He did. Very, very cool. Matt will be on with us in a little bit. Here, we have a lot to do today. I mean, we've got so many great races to talk about. Let us know in the comments. We'll give you a shout out where you're watching from, which race on Saturday you're the most interested in. We're going to definitely have some fun talking about all the great stuff coming up, including plenty of Breeders' Cup Win-and-You're-In action. We've been having it throughout the week at York overseas, and we've got a lot of it at Saratoga this weekend and a little bit at Del Mar too. Again, super excited to be going out there. All right, well, right now, just to update you on proceedings, we have a little bit of time until the next race at Saratoga. 9 minutes, in fact. They're just walking around the paddock. We got an even money favorite in this field as well. We'll talk about that race. Jonathan looks like he is just getting settled and going to join us soon. So we'll wait for him to talk about the particulars of that race. In the meantime, we're going to soon have some prices at Del Mar. I can read those out, and perhaps we can do a little bit of leaderboard updating after that first race that we have. Oh, we got some people chiming in. We've got Lucas Watson from Barrie, Ontario. Forgo and the Jerkins could definitely spice up that pick five. I completely agree. Lucas, who are your top picks in those races? Would love to hear it. Would love to hear who you like. And if you're interested in more thoughts from us when it comes to these races, we're going to probably talk about them again on here, but we've got videos for all of them. We probably could have been lazy today and actually just kept running our videos as part of HorsePlayers Happy Hour. But no, we'll give you original content and just encourage you to go over to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. And if you do that, you will be able to find all of the races previewed, all 6 grade ones at Saratoga. It's a Factor returns $9.20, $3.60. And for those that had Cardinal Spirit, you'll get back $3. Let's see. I think we have... this show has become what it is. In the Money has done very well in its history with child and pet interruptions. How about that face? JK, what's going on?
Oh, we're just hanging out. We got home. The Toners was happy to see us, so he came sprinting out here and just was refusing to just go lay back in his bed. He said, "Nope, I'm coming on to HorsePlayer Happy Hour," and that's. I heard you had a tough day at the track, Dad, and.
I don't know how you want to characterize that. Does that mean you missed a few winners, or is something else going on?
Oh no, there's just crazy people in this world, there's crazy people in this world. Yesterday I got approached by a gentleman. He had a t-shirt on. I won't say what kind of t-shirt he had on. You guys can figure it out. You can figure it out at home. Hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. He had a t-shirt on, and he started bothering me about the turf races coming off. And he started carrying on about, I've been coming here for 55 years and turf racing. I said, but I'm like walking a set. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I didn't take the races off.
I like that he thinks you have that kind of power, though, that you could
very
just
nice
be like, you could just go to Dave O'Rourke and be like, you know what? Next time it rains a bunch, let's leave him on. Let's see how that goes. You're like, yes, Mr. Kinchen, we'll take care of that right away.
Yeah. So, I'm doing the whole, try to walk away. You take a couple steps away from someone, they realize, oh, you have to go. Well, hold on. Let me tell you, I've been coming here for 55 years, probably older than you are. Yeah. Okay, guy.
He's been going for 55 years. I'd say he's older than you are.
And he's like, well, I don't, it's greed. It's greed. I said, they ran the stake. I said, yeah, because it was 1 5/8 and they took 3 turf sprints off. What do you, what? Well, I just wish, and he goes, I wish Major League Baseball, the movie Major League.
Yes.
The voodoo guy. Remember what he did when he was going to home plate?
Jobu? Is that Jobu?
Well, yeah, Jobu. This move. He said, I just wish you guys on TV would say something about it. And I said, sir, I don't know. You're an idiot. What do you want me to tell you?
Did you ask him, were you up here last summer? Were you up here last summer when early in the meet they ran on some turf courses they maybe would have not done had they had it to do over again? Do you think that might have had something to do with it?
And then he lived up to the T-shirt and hit me with you probably grew up in a fatherless household.
Oh man.
Which couldn't be further than the truth. My dad passed away, as many of our followers and friends know. My dad passed away 3 years ago. So yeah, he kind of got me a little fired up with that stupid comment. But here's the best part. So I probably told him,
how many profanities did you use after that one? Because I wouldn't blame you if it was a lot.
Yeah, I popped him with a couple. It's a racetrack. You can say those words at the racetrack. But here's the funny part about it. This guy went to the TV trucks that are out in the parking lot by the jockey's parking lot, knocked on the TV truck today to tell on me today, which everyone had already known what happened, so they laughed at him. And then I get off air. My wife calls me. She goes, "You're not going to believe that guy just cornered Dave O'Rourke and is trying to tell Dave on you." So I get over there, and he's trying to tell on me to Dave, and it was funny, and we all laughed about it, and he's an idiot, and I hope he never wins any more of his photos.
That's a curse. That's quite a curse.
Oh, Pete got kicked. He kicked himself out. This guy, Pete, huh? What's he going to do? What's the over-under on how long it takes him to get back? He's back.
Hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
No, it's okay. So then, So then there was Sean Borman, Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge champion. Sean Borman.
He likes it when you say record setting.
Record setting. Came over to hang out. So we were standing in our little spot where Jovi and his parents always stand, and we're hanging out. And they were out today, boy. Just the people coming by. Some guy comes by and he's like, I'm gonna bust your balls for a second. Okay, what's up, man? You ever gonna pick anything but chalk?
Oh my God.
So this is right after I just got dealt with the t-shirt guy. So then I got this guy, and I said, sir, you let me know the amount of money you would like to play for, and head and we'll do it. Oh, you don't got to take it personal. Buddy, you said you're busting balls. I'm busting balls back. Why are you bothering me? It's wild out there.
It is wild out there. Have you seen Marshall Graham today?
I heard he's not well. Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge champion Marshall Graham. Heard he's not well.
He's not doing well. He's got a bit of that. And I can say this because I'm Irish. He's got a bit of the Irish flu. I saw him as I was leaving. He was coming in, and he told me he's never drinking again. I'm going to give that about 3 hours. I'm going to give that about 3 hours. And in 3 hours, he's going to be, I'm never drinking hard liquor again, but beer and wine are just fine.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game.
Oh, we have we were asking before about potential long shots on Saturday. Lucas mentions Anchor. I put that horse on top, actually, being a little cheeky doing that, but looking for some value. And mentions Little Knee, a horse I know you had some use for. And I guess if you love Bookham Dano, you could tell a story about Little Knee. I mean, it's not one that I came up with, but I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody not to bet that horse. Where do you stand with Little Knee?
Well, the more and more I think about that race, I honestly think there's two horses that can win. I've thought about it a little bit more. I'm going to use Bookham Dano just because I have some other opinions I need to try to make sure that I'm alive to. I don't want to get kooky. But to me, this is a Prince of Monaco domestic product situation. I don't feel the warm, fuzzy feelings about domestic product that I felt about Practical Joke, but it's starting to get closer to that. Then you know what? Let me pull up Practical Joke. Let me just feel.
I think Practical Joke looks more like Timberlake than domestic spinning. We only have a minute at Saratoga, by the way. Do your quick cap and give.
Is this the race where the Asmussen horse
the 3 runner is 4 to 5.
I love this horse. This is the in the Survivor game we're playing. This is the horse I picked. I love this horse. Why am I going blank on the name?
Gulfport.
Yeah. That horse is fast as a 2-year-old, in the right hands, taking some time. I love this horse. Love.
I will say, just to bust some shoes myself, you're not doing much to eliminate that guy's criticism that you play chalk.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what though? Like I said, and you can be involved in this too, buddy. I'll tighten you up too.
I kid, of course. I mean,
no, I know.
Winners, and better, as we always say, better a short price than a long face. But the right favorites to key around are one of the key things in the game. And you and we're not just there to. I'm not. I don't. It sounds like I'm criticizing someone. I don't mean to do that, but I do think there's a temptation. We're going to do a whole show about public handicapping at some point. They are taking the saddle off the 3, JK. I think this horse is scratched.
Really?
Yeah. The state vet must have seen something that they don't like. Take out the 3. Gulfport, late scratch. Breaking news here on HorsePlayers Happy Hour. That's going to send this market into absolute chaos. It'll be interesting to see. Currently, because now everybody who has that horse will get post-time favorite. The other PTF, as we like to say. Horse looks very happy, like prancing back to the stables. So, yeah, I don't have to work today. That's cool.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, well, that's
looks like it's favoritism's going to be between the 1 and the 6, but the market's just going to be chaos. I think they're going to walk them around for a little while, and we'll see. But back to that, we can go back to that King's Bishop conversation. So my observation was the Timberlake, in a way, reminded me, like, look, I'm not saying I like Timberlake as much as we all liked Practical Joke, but it's that idea that, a horse that was downlining, a horse that was, had clearly reaching better figures. You all right over there?
Yeah, yes. Just set your phone down. Yes.
Where are you?
I'm at home, but we're playing this game where there is a late scratch of a horse that I picked, and they're talking about it in the group text, and I don't. There's a late scratch. We're trying to make rules as we're working, and I don't want you to start talking because I want the gate. I want the race to run.
You want me to filibuster while you deal with that? You probably have 2 minutes to figure out what are the rules. Doesn't your contest have rules?
Yeah, but
not good ones, Pete.
Not good ones. Post-time. Do you get the post-time favorite now?
No, I don't. Well, we've dealt with. So Ways and Means. I picked Ways and Means one day, and then there was a paddock scratch and knocked it under the approved amount of time, on the amount of horses. And so we and then I ended up picking another horse and got eliminated. And then the next day we said, hey guys, look,
that's not really fair. That's an act of God.
Yeah. So
it should be the field size as drawn.
Moving forward, we don't allow gate scratches to jam us up.
Okay.
And so now with the 8th race, with only 1 or 2 left, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd rather just figure it out after the race is run.
If you can figure it out in your group text, I can filibuster.
No, I don't need to figure it out. I want the race to run.
Well, they're starting to load now. Rob Capalbo had a friend visit from Vermont, brought some Hetty Topper, one of the most famous beers in the world. It's showing well. Good juicy East Coast IPA stuff. This one is probably, should check the date on the bottle. It's not like it's freshest, but it's still showing well. Still good stuff. All right, jocks are climbing aboard. Rob is excited to see the Hetty. No surprise. Robert, if you're in town, feel free to bring us some more delicious beer. You've been doing that very well all summer. We'll trade seats for beer. We've established the trading paradigm. Somebody's not wanting to go in the gate. There's a jock off. Oh no, they're just waiting. This is fine. The 4 riders climbing back aboard. Number 4, Little Vic. At this point, definitely chaotic stuff for JK's little contest, for the HorsePlayers Happy Hour contest. 6, a lovely gray named Gunnet. We know Gunnet getting in there. And then the 7, Running Son of a Gun. All right, looks like they're loaded here at Saratoga. The gates pop. It looked like a fine break for all. The 1 Disco Ball being asked for all manner of speed and taking a second. And then responding, Little Vic up into second place. Really a lot of very active hands on the jockeys here. But Disco Ball, the 8-5 favorite, now has definitely secured that position as they're going into the turn. Little Vic is in pretty solid attacking position, I'd say, under this moderate hand ride, beginning to pick up a little bit. Maybe is that the 5? Kavad winding up a little bit down at the rail from the back of the pack with Gun It between horses. Doesn't appear to be responding yet. And then this horse in the Del Mar colors trying to make a move on the outside. But meanwhile, as they turn in, Disco Ball seems to be picking up. Kavad was that one trying to make a run down the rail, now in the 2-path looking to attack. But Disco Ball appears to be finding as they pass the 8th pole, and not a whole lot here in terms of dangers. Looks like this one's going to come Disco Ball, Kavad, and then Little Vic managing no better than 3rd in the 8th race at Saratoga. So during the race, were you able to figure out what the heck was going on in your contest? If you got the favorite, you did well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, to me, like you said, it's not controllable. And like it happened so late that I can't even. I mean, I have 2 races left. I can't maybe like pick another.
Can't make you take a new pick. That would be punitive.
Yeah. So I think either way, I'm home and hose down. Whether it's I get the post, but see, like this isn't even an eligible race anymore because of the 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's gonna have 6 horses. So
I can't think of a better situation than you get the post-time favorite in that race, because it's too good of a result for you. Oh, you just get to go through. You know, I think that's the best of the.
But I think that it's an okay outcome, Pete, because it's not like I could ever predict that I'm going to gate scratch.
True. There's no unfair advantage to it.
Yeah, so it's like I think it's just you know, if you want to look, if you want to wake up in the morning and start to predict which horse is in a gate scratch, then God bless you.
Regular scratch, there could be some easy strategy there, even taking MTOs out of it. But yeah, gate scratch, very, very tricky. All right, we got 13 minutes to the next race 2 at Del Mar. We'll have some Saratoga prices here in a moment. And this time we will do the leaderboard. We'll get back to that King's Bishop conversation if you want to do any digging.
Yeah. So here's the thing is I didn't even know. I just remember practical. Okay, so here's my practical joke story. Is that and Pete, you'll remember one of those one of our big scores together. We played together at the
biggest score I've ever had. What was that?
The secret spot. 6. Yeah, we at the secret spot, and we were up there at the secret spot, and at Saratoga, that's no longer the secret spot anymore. It's the Surfside Lounge or whatever.
Don't get me started.
But we had this. We're in the spot. And we played a pick together with ourselves and a couple of people, and you and I took bigger chunks, and then the people that are just hanging out, we let them get involved, and we played the pick 6, and I ice cold single practical joke, like did not use another horse, and then we also, I think it was also Lady Eli was that day.
Yes, Lady Eli was the pay leg. Yeah. That's why that picture hangs here in such prominence in the little house on the east side. I bought a bunch of us who were involved in that. I went the next day and bought the Lady Eli photos and gave them to, I think to you, to Doogie. I think I gave Pipes one and he left it in the on his seat. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, well, that was Pipes he's a hard nut to crack. So the thing about practical joke is looking back at his past performances, I remember that, he won the Champagne, which obviously domestic product didn't do anything to that level. And then he continued to kind of range and hang in the Fountain of Youth and the Bluegrass. He ran well enough at 1.25 miles in the Kentucky Derby that he got back to the Dwyer, ran a big race, 1 turn. And then he tried the Haskell in between, which is a different story for domestic product, and then shows up in the Jerkins
but a very similar story to Timberlake.
Right. But yes. But the problem is, though, if looking at this, the problem is that, okay, great. I'm glad you said that. And the Dwyer and in the Bluegrass, practical joke ran fast enough to win the Jerkins. He ran a fast enough number to make him competitive. And even in the Haskell
final figure or to the
final figure, no final figure. And even in the Haskell, he ran fast enough. Right. The difference is, and look, I bet $14,000 in the Breeders' Cup betting challenge on.
No, I know you love Timberlake. That's why
on Timberlake. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But Timberlake has never run as fast as practical joke did even in the situations that didn't fit what Practical Joke wanted to do, he never ran that fast. And that's my problem with him.
Counterpoint, if I may, he'll be 6 times the price that Practical Joke was. So I want to.
Well, it doesn't matter what his price is if he doesn't win.
Well, risk reward wise, though, and I'm not saying we're gonna, and it's also straight strategy wise, right? Practical Joke, I agree, was a stone cold single. What was he, even 6-5?
Practical Joke?
Yeah, was he a better price than that?
2-1.
Nice. So it won't be 6 times the price then. I'm wrong about that. 3 times the price, I'm gonna guess. But I'm saying this is just a horse to use in spread. I mean, it's a horse to use. It's not the same thing. I'm not saying, oh my God, it's just like that. But he just has that, a little bit of that vibe of a horse that's going to get even better, even though he hasn't run fast enough. And because he hasn't run fast enough, I think he'll be a backable, more than a backable price.
I don't have a problem. I mean, he's just not an A horse. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, he is for me, he isn't for you. It's silly to argue this much about a horse we're both using, I suppose, but it's kind of fun, the thought process. All right, Disco Ball, 550, 360, Kavad, 440, and that brings us to a leaderboard update. Actually, I think I remember how to do this now. It's without the videos, I'm being a bit of a miser. I feel like I really don't need, when we're not doing videos and throwing to old tape and stuff, I mean, well, quite frankly, I don't want to pay a producer, but then I have to do it myself. And so you get little things like this, little hiccups like this, where it takes me a second to get my behind wired on straight. But now we have it. Matthew McJunkin, a name we've been seeing a lot of, is among those people who've gone runner so far with the 2190. Hector Huertas, Philip Fairbanks, Michael Cavana, who's been a final tableist for us and a guy I really enjoy speaking to, GT Nixon, Chris Littlemore, a handicapping champion, Eclipse Award winner, Michael Sussman, and we'll do a few more because what do we get, 174? So I'll go down about to 17 here then. John Hayes, double-barreled, doing that thing where he's trying to really rock and roll with exactly the same entries. That makes a lot of sense in this contest if you're trying to win the tour aspect of it, where your top 8 scores count, but you could get 3 of them in a week. So that's what's going on there. Christopher Olson with a lot of commonality and a couple of different things. Chris Olson, who I interviewed out in Vegas years ago, his 3 entries all with 1720. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now. We'll get to some more players later, but that's where we're starting off in this this Horse Player Happy Hour. I was mentioning before, JK, that I'm going to be going to the BCCA dinner tonight. You said you're stopping by. Are you in an official capacity, or what are you doing over there?
Well, I think so. Jovanina's on like I think the advisory board. I don't I'm not sure exactly what she got going on, but we had a prior thing, so we're gonna go to the thing before. We're gonna go to the cocktail thing. But we're not going to go to the dinner because we have this other thing we have to do. So
gotcha, which you can't tell us about clearly, or you would have. So I won't pry. But it's
not prying. It's just like it's not that. It's just like it's not. I can.
I don't want you to say and then have that guy come and stalk you there and tell the maitre d' to throw you out.
Oh, I would prefer him find me in the street. No, I would prefer that. That's easy. Don't come to my place of employment and then you're giving me up, bud.
People are nuts. I mean, that is the moral of the story. Rob Capalbo, we're talking about Vermont beer. He prefers the Focal Banger. That's next. That's next on my drinking dance card. I got my friend Ron, who visited, knows me well. So he did the old 2 and 2, 2 headies, 2 Focal Bangers. Not a bad way to pay rent for a night in Saratoga, bringing some Saratoga beers and buying a Hattie's lunch as he did. What else has been going on with you? You eating anything good lately?
Actually, Pete, we went to the city. We went to the city for Dark Days, and I had an amazing meal and a horrible meal. I'll give you the horrible one first. We went to Seaport to see some friends, down by Wall Street.
South Street Seaport down there, yeah.
We went to a place called Wife, you in here?
It's hit or miss down there.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the place, which is probably good because I don't want to bury him. It was horrible.
We don't need to bury him too.
No, it was so bad though. Like I got there and I started to kind of feel the vibes. It wasn't going to be good, so I said, you know what? I'm just going to get the smash burger because that's going to be safe. At least I'll eat all the French fries, eat ice cream when I get home. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
The burger was this thick as a smash burger. And the bun was fluffy and like it was horrible.
That's not what a smash burger is. Yeah, they did not understand the assignment.
The night before, though, one of the best meals we've had in the city, a newer restaurant called Massara.
I've heard of it.
It's Italian, Campania region. So like where Giovannina's family and their restaurant, like Campania. So, and it was, I mean, spectacular.
Now, nobody really cares what you think. What did Giovannina think?
She said it was the best meal she's had in a very long time.
That's awesome. So
that's spectacular. That's so good. Yeah, it was just us two, and we just, we were, I'm sure they thought we were a table of 5, but there was only 2 of us.
You went through the menu, in other words.
Oh, we got after it. Yeah, we got. It was so good, so
what
good.
Were some of the did anything stand out? And then we should talk about this.
Where is she at when you need her? We got a Wagyu steak situation as the entree. Beautiful. We had appetizer. I mean, we had 3 pastas. We got a lobster and stracciatella like stuffed pasta thing. They sent one out, which I can't remember what it was. They sent out, and then we got I'll get her. It was another thing that was amazing. And then we had octopus as an appetizer. They have little pizzettes, like little small pizzas. So we had a pizzette, like a margarita pizzette. We had the Sam hooked us up with this Campania region wine. We told him we got married in the Campania region, so he hooked us up with this red that was nice. It was it was.
Sounds pretty special.
I forgot a lot of things too, but
I bet my brother knows it, who works in the Italian wine biz. I'll ask him about it and perhaps get it on the list for sooner rather than later. This is the time in the meet here, JK, where you got to start picking specific things to look forward to coming up. I mean, work-wise, where it's such a dead run to the Breeders' Cup, that's nice and distracting, but you need to find some other things that make you not too sad about not being at Saratoga or Del Mar. You agree with that?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, like for the last 2 years. So 2 years ago, the day after the meet was over, we went to Greece to go to my friend Ty's wedding. Like literally the next day, like the Tuesday, went to Greece.
That's nice and distracting.
Go to Ty's wedding, and then also to go look at the place we were going to get married at the next year in Italy. So we went to Mykonos, to Amalfi, and then last year
I can hear Robin Leach narrating your life, JK.
Last year we didn't do a honeymoon right after the wedding in May because we had to get back for the Belmont Stakes. We did our honeymoon right after the meet, and so we went to Capri. We went to Capri last year, the day after the meet. The day after the meet this year, I'm going to Texas because Austin's playing 7th grade football. So,
well, that's fun in its own, and distracting in its own way. I'm
very excited. It's a lot of tears this last 2 days with him having his first 2 days of practice and me being up here stuck with you morons.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear about your coaching advice, but let's talk about this Del Mar race. We have 2 minutes to post for this 5 furlong on the turf affair. The sort of moto pick for my quick cap. It's actually a decent price.
What race is it?
Race 2 at Del Mar. I mean, this Harry's on the fly. Looks like he's going to get a great trip. It's almost suspicious to me that this horse is 5-1, though. Shouldn't this horse be a little bit shorter? Very curious. Tiger Hones.
The 3 in?
The 3's running. Silioso is there. You're telling me you're going to pick a closer in a turf sprint?
That horse is a closer?
Silioso?
Yeah, but no. I'm 100% taking the 3. Okay. What's the price?
Tell me, you don't think that? I mean, looking through that horse's lines, you wouldn't call it a closer?
Yeah, I mean a little bit closer-ish, but the figure is a little that synthetic figure is a standout.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm a figure guy first.
Mm-hmm.
So Greg Wolf today, Pete, while we're on air, he hits me with the I don't trust buyers. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but like he's like I hate buyers.
And he's certainly entitled to his opinion as well.
Yeah, but he has a hard time with the projections that can come at times. We all know about.
Sure.
And and as a commercial figure, I'm not offended by it. I understand it. I understand why Andy and the team do what they do in terms of a race that's entirely too fast to seem realistic or entirely too slow to seem realistic. I don't know which one of those other figures he likes, but the ground loss ones, which drive a lot of industry decisions, right? I'm not opposed to the idea, but I think it's an interesting conversation of like I would love a panel, Pete.
Future show idea.
Yeah, of the 4 big figure makers, right? Craig Milkowski, Andy Beyer, was Randy? What's his name?
You thinking of Len Friedman, or you thinking
I don't know,
Jerry Brown?
Jerry Brown, yeah. Have all of them kind of, ask them to explain why, like have a panel that's almost like a debate of like, why is your number the best?
It's funny you should mention this. Back in the day, at what we used to jokingly call the degenerate symposiums in Las Vegas, I can throw somebody under the bus here, but I'm not going to do it. That idea was tried. Maury Wolf was the moderator. One of the figure makers decided to hijack the panel to use it as an excuse to poo on one of the other figure makers. It was a complete disaster. Maury did the best he could, but it's a great idea. And maybe with the casts having changed over the years, and also if it wasn't live, if it's me on a podcast, I can just say, dude, get back on topic. We don't want to hear why you don't like X and da 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 da. They just popped at Del Mar. Tiger Hone did not break. That one finds himself in last early. The 2, Please Focus, a big long shot, did break, as did Cane Creek Road, who nearly broke through the gate before the race. That was odd. My 8, Harry's On the Fly, is in a nice spot, stalking third. No cover, but that doesn't necessarily matter in a turf sprint. Then there's a little red feather horse called, is it Rexford, down there at the rail in 4th. And in 5th is a big long shot, the 7, Standing O, as they hit the turn. Please Focus. This big long shot still in the lead. You had some running commentary here, JK?
Yeah, I got a shot the quick cap run last, I think. No, I'm okay. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
The 5 is making some serious headway. That's this Cane Creek Road. But the 4, it's a big split. I
hit the board. Unbelievable.
Tiger Hone wins. And did Please Focus hold second? I wasn't looking. I was watching your horse. What did you catch? Who was second?
Oh no, I was Pete. I was selfishly focused on the 3 horse, at least hitting the board.
You didn't want to be last. You've been pretty hot with these quick caps so far. But yeah, Tiger Hone got left. I mean, you want to talk about a closer. This horse got left, and really a very good. It's hard when you get left. What do, right? It was Please Focus, big long shot, 10-1 shot, finishing second. Do you try to rush up, or do you be patient and just try to make your way through the race? Well, that's what Rispoli did, and he fired a big shot in the lane to get up there in the second race at Del Mar. So we'll get some prices for you and some a new leaderboard soon in this one. But yeah, that was an impressive run, and your horse did went on very well to be third. I agree. Looked in deep water turning in. Those sharp.
Yeah, but you know what though, Pete? To your point that you tried to save me from myself. It's why I don't like closers and turf sprints.
Right.
That's what happens. Like I'm not even questioning the fact that he might have been the best animal, but that's just like that's what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very hard to come from that far back. And Please Focus, who was one of the slower horses in the race with that forward trip, still manages second. So let's get into this focal banger and see how this one's showing. And yeah, then again, we'll get prices in a minute. Which race are you most looking forward to of the weekend? It's got to be the Travers this year, right?
Yeah, I'm excited about the Travers. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Here's how I judge excitement of races. To me, when they get in the gate, I am going to have the most butterflies in my stomach for that race.
Yeah.
And
there's so much at stake.
We talked about it. I talked about it on the show today, Pete. It's a fun conversation for us here. Let's play what if. Watch this. All right, let's play what if. Hold on, let me get to Saturday. So I can do this in my sleep now that I've talked about it 17 times.
Yeah, I don't even think you need the PPs.
But not only the PPs, I just need the number of. Okay,
gotcha.
So let's go Torpedo Anna first. Okay, if she wins the Travers, in my opinion, foregone conclusion, she is horse of the year.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens in the classic, and no offense to our friends at the Breeders' Cup, because she'll win if she wins this race, she's gonna win the distaff too, right? But even if she doesn't win the distaff, if she wins this race, she's horse of the year. Agree or disagree?
Take something crazy and unexpected.
Well, give me the crazy.
All right, let's see. Let's see what has to happen. I mean, it would have to be something that happened from now on in, right? Because it ain't going to be an older horse. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see scenarios. If a 3-year-old male is a good second, wins another grade 1, and wins the classic, you'd have a debate at least.
Okay, so let me
and Torpedo Anna loses the distaff. You know what I mean? It could be like a monkey wrench. And people forget stuff real fast in the world, as you know.
So I have 2 scenarios that I still don't think beat her if she wins this race, okay, for horse of the year. If Arthur's Ride wins the grade 1, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and wins the Classic, I still don't think he beats a Torpedo Anna that wins the Travers. Do you agree or disagree?
I think it's tough if she then were to bomb. I think she'd lock it up with a distaff win. But I think, there's something. I won't want to say she'd get votes even if she loses a good second in the distaff. I think she'd still get votes because I think she becomes a national. I'd like to think she becomes a national story at that point. And you know how it is. We saw the sympathy wins for. Well, I guess the most famous sympathy win in Eclipse Award history is Zenyatta, right? I mean, Blaine beats her right in the racetrack, and they give it to Zenyatta.
Take it easy, sir. I have been assaulted. I've been assaulted enough today. Let me see your shirt. Let me see your shirt. What do you got?
I just got some pretty flowers and such.
Okay. All right. All right. How about this? Okay. Sierra Leone. To me, Sierra Leone wins this race. I think he snatches 3-year-old champion from Dornick, no matter what happens moving forward.
No matter what? No, I
didn't say no matter what. I said if he wins this race, because he'll have 2 grade 1s, right? He'll have the Bluegrass and he'll have the Travers. But the Travers, Pete, we've done this game before. Rate your 5 3-year-old races and where they stand. He was second in the Derby by a whisker, right? He was 3rd in the Belmont Stakes. He was second in the Jim Dandy. He won the Bluegrass and he won the Travers. To me, Sierra Leone would be 3-year-old champ if Dornick didn't do anything else the rest of the way.
Agreed. But you just said the part that I was waiting for you to say before.
If Dornick didn't, but if Dornick doesn't win this race, he's not a super horse and he's not going to win another race this year.
I mean, I kind of hear you. Look, I like Dornick. I think he's a street fighter. I love his attitude, but I think and let's put personal animus aside here. He's been very lucky. You know what I mean?
Of course it is. Yeah, his trainer's over 12 at the meet. You know what? At some point, there's not that many people that have tried to play this game, but at some point, you're going to recognize that somebody's got a podcast network that's on national television every day. Okay, let's go to fierceness.
Okay.
I said it on our podcast, and you got to check out our YouTube video. I'm going to share this with everyone, even though you should go to the YouTube video. I believe that fierceness is being rushed back a little bit because he's fine. I don't think he's anything wrong. I just don't think he's going to give his best performance. I think that they're going to take a page from Baffert after this race when he runs 2nd or 3rd. They're going to take a page from Baffert when it comes to what he did with Arrogate and with American Pharaoh, and they are going to run him in the Classic, and I will bet him in the Classic.
I get it. I absolutely get it. I mean, the whole time I've been saying, the in and out thing, it's just randomness, blah, blah, blah. After hearing that Pletcher interview after the Dandy, when he stated really unequivocally that the horse wasn't going to run and then basically explained why, because of how much time he needs between races. I mean, it might be as simple as that. He just and who knows? I mean, it also could be wrong, but my inclination is to think that he could be, with modern training and the way things go now, the rare horse that 6 weeks is a wheel back, or 4 weeks is a wheel back. Like that, he just needs that time. You can't trust him. You can bet him as an A if you want in this race. He schooled today, and I mean, look, I'm not Maggie or Richie, but I mean, he looked good to me. I mean, he didn't have like the best energy. He looked a little quiet, but he didn't look small. He didn't look bad. What did you see him? Were you on TV for that? Did the experts say anything?
Like I don't. Richie actually said it on the show the other day that he thought the work was really good. He wasn't crazy about his energy level galloping back. But Richie also qualified it by saying whatever. But Richie also is a big fan of the horse. Like yes. Richie was going to pick Sierra Leone on the show the other day. And when he saw fierceness in the paddock, he told our producers in their ear, change my pick.
Wow.
When fierceness won, he changed his pick based on how fierceness looked. Like
before the Jim Dandy.
Yeah. Submitted Sierra Leone, saw him in the paddock. Hey, Terrence, our producer, T, can you change my pick, please? And Terrence changed it to
that's some good behind the scenes stuff. And Richie to me is as good. I mean, the best people I've ever seen with that stuff are Richie, Maggie, and Sean Clancy. Just gifted at being able to connect with what's going on that level. Ooh, we have a King's Plate question, which is kind of fun.
Oh, I haven't looked. I'll pull it up. Let me pull it up.
Quick cap. I want your quick cap. Interestingly, Richard, I'm not going to even say it because while you're studying, but I agree with you, Richard. I think that horse that you mentioned has a good chance in the race. That's who I picked on top. We redid the King's Plate pod because they didn't redraw, but they moved the races around. And I just thought it would be easier for people if we redid it. But you got to go back and listen to the original one because the races are the same. And Jackson, who's in the comments here too today, did just a fantastic job. Drew kind of spun me that day, JK. I had Drew lined up, and then he had something else to do. And so Jackson, I know, follows Woodbine closely. So with a few hours notice, I called him in. He may have now Wally pipped Drew as my favorite person to talk Woodbine with. So
is it not? Oh, they didn't even. Where's it at?
So Friday at Woodbine, it is the 9th race, I believe.
I don't see it.
It's there. Mile and a quarter.
I got it. I will. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to see races at Woodbine that aren't grade ones because I'm a grade one winning owner at Woodbine. I know you.
Me too.
Yeah,
what a coincidence. He hangs here. We talked about Lady Eli. We got Lady Eli here. We got Long on Value over there. Gem Mint 10 here. We're going to get, oh gosh, I keep forgetting to pick up my Looms Boldly photo. I got one of the first race when I'm like the only, it's not true. The team is there too, but the only owner in the winner's circle, the first Looms Boldly race. I got to get all his win pictures actually. So my record as an owner at Saratoga this meet now, JK, 3-2-1-0. Not too bad. Not too bad.
I guess I would take I think my boy Prince will be tough, but I suppose I would take the 2 Rafaru.
Yeah, that's an interesting horse. That's who Mike Probosi picked. What do you like about that horse?
Well, I mean, just, he ran right behind my boy Prince. And if I'm not mistaken, which I probably will be. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he was, slow early. The pace wasn't overly quick. It was a just plate trial, hard spun, pleasantly perfect. What? I don't know.
Yeah, he's an interesting long shot.
Green Light Go. Is that horse won impressively here first time out, didn't that horse?
Yeah, Green Light Go. Look it up real quick. Oh, it's post time for the 9th at Saratoga, by the way.
All right, I want to tell everyone. Let me fill everyone. Green Light Go. Yeah, that was a Jerkins horse that won. That won first out here. Ran well in the Champagne, and then ended up. Yeah, okay, yeah. Green Light Go. That's a Stronach pedigree. Apparently they sent me the rules. Rule C says if your horse is scratched and you don't replace it, you will receive the favorite in the race you picked. But
good.
Gate scratch was not what I meant by that rule. So everyone is telling me that I'm safe. But just to spice it up, I said I'll take the 3 here just so that I feel good about my victory.
Really? This is a flex, JK.
You know,
putting your tournament life on the line.
I thought this race was 310 only.
Okay.
Only 310.
Now we have something exciting to talk about. Do you want to call this one since you got skin?
Absolutely not.
Well, I'm looking at the names so I don't have to say numbers. Frank Miramati basically told me it's a sin to say numbers, so I'm not going to do that. I'm really going to try. I mean, I may do a little bit of both because, I'm not a race caller, but we'll see. But yeah, you can just talk. I'm going to be talking. I'll try to leave some space for you to jump in whenever you want to, or you can just talk over me. I'm not going to be offended. So you like the 3. Can't fool me. I like the flex. It's impressive. And tournament life on the line here with this Horacio De Paz runner with Ricardo Santana Jr. there.
Before they break, what's smart casual? What's that dress code?
Khakis and a collared shirt is smart.
Well, I think if you're wearing khakis anywhere, it's not very smart. So I can't agree with that.
Not jeans, probably not jeans. Okay, you didn't break great. The 5 did break great. That spooky lady who'll go to the lead. The 10 outside. I'm just kidding. Chasing. Yeah, I'm a little worried about you here, JK. What are you thinking?
Well, a couple of guys, which I won't say who they are, but it's funny who they are. They ran 5th today. And they shouldn't have run 5th. Anyways, they ran 5th. And so I really just have to I can run 4th and still be in off the goalpost.
Okay, well, you are picking up a little bit down at the rail. Meanwhile, on the front end, spooky lady out there. The fractions look slow, 25 for that quarter. The 10 runner, I'm just kidding, in a good position. Second, the 1 making a move up the wood. That horse is called Burnt Again. There's some covered horses on the outside. They just ran behind a bush. How do people do this, JK? It's totally crazy. Your runner can't fool me in an absolutely decent place, if good enough to make a run, at least on into the money. It hasn't been an easy trip so far, but not hopelessly out of it. They're running around the turn. Spooky Lady's still in front with I'm Just Kidding chasing still in second. That's the way it's been throughout. The 1 Burn Again now under the pump. Your horse is starting to pick up maybe down there at the rail. The 9 Solib coming down the center, making a run. You're even wider, widest of all. Looks like you're going to pick up and hit the board, if not more.
I'm home and hose down, baby.
There's a horse slipping through at the rail.
How are you?
Weirdly, that's that Burn Again, but it doesn't matter because can't fool me. You can't fool Jonathon Kinchen. He gets the job done here. His survivor horse wins by 4. Burn Again, who I thought was in deep, deep water, actually ends up sticking on for second. And that's significant for the contest because that horse is 21-1. So we'll have to check here. But that was good. You were mucho the besto there, my friend. Now, you need to. I mean, what are you?
Well, I gotta go get smart casual before I gotta go to this thing.
Well, you already look like you're smart casual, though.
I'm not wearing khakis. I'm wearing black jeans and a shirt. And if they don't like it, then
you can probably get away with it. If you had something if you had more like sporty type pants than jeans. Some people in dress codes are like really weird about jeans, but I basically think smart casual is not a t-shirt and shorts. That's, I think, basically what it is.
And like, I mean, look, I sit next to grown men on TV all the time that have suits on and I'm dressed like I'm going to the beach. So like, I'm kind of in off the goalpost, right?
Yes, it is kind of your brand. Though I tell you, you look pretty good. You cut a fine figure in the suit when you have to do the big fox.
Joe Vanina got me for Father's Day. Joe Vanina and Austin got me a custom suit that I got like fully tailored, like the whole thing. I'm hitting them with that on Saturday. So
that's awesome. What color is it?
It's Breeders' Cup purple, baby.
Ooh, I like it. That's client service there, my friend. Love it. Great stuff, JK. Always a pleasure. We'll be talking soon.
See you.
How fun was that? We pick up our sort of oldest school vibes on this show because we used to do, I think, before. It's wonderful having a lot of clients and doing a lot of this stuff, but we we sometimes have a lot of stuff we need to cover where we don't have as much time for nonsense. And we have turned this show, our live racing show, more, I mean, I think we're giving good information, don't get me wrong, but it's basically a festival of nonsense. And I love that. I mean, I think it recaptures something. And gosh, I don't know if anybody out here is hardcore enough to remember, and we'll never do this again, but the couple of In the Money, it wasn't even In the Money. I think it must have been in DRF days. We did a couple of I think we just called them Podcasts After Dark that was on, gosh, I don't even remember the name. It was a short-lived streaming service that would stream right to your social. And we did a couple of them from the dungeon at Santa Anita. And if any of that footage were to see the light of day today, we took it down pretty quickly. I think Jonathan still has it. If any of it were to see the light of day today, you'd never see Jonathan on Fox again. Let's put it that way. All right. I sent a link to Matt. He could be joining us soon. We can do the leaderboard, I think, in the meantime. Is this sucker official yet? No, it's not quite official. We'll bring in our next guest, though, while we talk about it. I'm not sure which guest it is. It is Matt Miller wearing his dress hoodie. That's smart casual. What is smart? If you were told to show up at an event in smart casual, Matt, what would that mean to you?
No jeans.
Okay. You think jeans are outlawed? Yeah, I have that idea.
In old person terminology, I'd say slacks, but I think in the current, and I'm not representing anybody, so I don't want to throw out too many brands, but things like Viore, there are some of these nicer kind of fake nice pants that I don't understand how they pass as nice pants, but they do. I think that fits as smart casual now too. So it's probably a broader category than it used to be.
There is an irony that I have jeans that would cost 10. You could buy 10 pairs of khakis.
Nothing to do with the money.
Cost.
Right.
And you might get kicked on your arse with one. What is this? A reference here is this an inside joke? Perfect for an Obu dinner?
Well, I'm not sure it's an inside joke. That's Dave Duncan, and we had a spectacular dinner at Nobu in the middle of the NHC last year. And he's right. That's actually the exact pair of pants I did wear. So
that's very funny. There you go. I figured it was something like that. Boy, I don't. Yeah, I this is terrible because it's so self-praise is no praise at all. But I do enjoy when Jonathan and I get to be as dumb as we were in the course of the previous hour. We don't get to do that as much on the shows because we have so many races to talk about.
Well, I heard you say as I was about to come on, that we're running a festival of idiocy or something, and I'm like,
you thought that was your intro?
I fit? Really? I mean, I totally do. Don't get me wrong, but that's a heck of an intro. Thanks.
Oh my God. No. I was reflecting backwards. Now we're getting serious, you see, 4 races through this contest. And we'll do this leaderboard real quick. There we go. Our man, David Pierce in first. Hey, look who's in second. Matt Miller, John Van Niel, Julie LeBoyko, GT Nixon, Michael Sussman, Hector Huertas, Matthew McJunkin, our early leader, still hanging in there. Jason Phillips, Arthur Winter, Steve Nemitz, Mike Gillum, Jackson Muniz. Love to see him up there. One of our BCBC Diaries players, Stu Cantor, and our comments MVP, one of our comments MVPs, Chris Couples, Daniel Edwards, and Brad Anderson rounding out the top 17, looking to punch his ticket to move on to qualifying action on Saturday. What's been going on with you, Matt? I know you've had some contest jockey success the last couple of days. You must be feeling good about that. That was sort of a fun finish the other day in our little beta game.
Oh, those games are great. Yeah, first on this contest, this is where I would say stop the race. I'm just really happy with a bunch of friends in that top 17, and that would just freeze it. That would be great.
And you need to get in the you have yet to qualify for the playoffs, so the top 2 finish would do that for you.
Correct. I've had my share, I think, of the Saturday contest, just nothing quite top tier enough. But we'll see. I think I'm doing okay on the overall leaderboard, but not plenty of time to go. Yeah,
acting up. The favorite is acting up at Del Mar. The 6 runner does not look happy about having that bit in the mouth. That is a story to watch as they go to the gate to see if Canada Gate can settle down. This horse just missed winning the maiden by 3/4 of a length last time. Beautiful pedigree on this Juddmonte homebred. Interesting, Juddmonte sending one to Baffert. Well, not that. I mean, it's happened before, Arrogate, but interesting to see this Canada Gate acting a bit of a fool out there on the track, was he. So we'll see what happens with that. 8-5 favorite as it stands now. Do you look at that stuff at all, Matt? If a horse starts acting crazy, breaks through the gate, will you make last minute changes?
It would have to be something really obvious. And it's funny. It reminds me of a story from the book. You'll remember it instantly. It's when I was given a phone call or a text that said, your horse broke through the gate, cancel your bet. I absolutely, when I see my horse break through the gate, especially as violently as this one did, I absolutely will try to cancel. If it's a gentle nudge, okay, maybe I won't freak out, but this looked pretty bad. The crazy irony was the bet was too big. I wasn't allowed to cancel it manually, and then the horse went on to win anyway. So, smart me tried to cancel a winning bet and ended up getting paid double odds because of all the smart people.
Right, who did cancel. Instead of getting 2-1, you got 4-1 or whatever.
Right. I don't know what to do in those things, but generally speaking, when you see something that looks pretty bad, yeah, I think that's a reason to change your opinion. I'm looking at the multis for that race. These odds. So one of two things is happening or will happen. The odds on this 6 horse, in my opinion, are going to crater. So 9-5, I think, is a joke. And I'm not looking at any of these products that project odds or whatnot. I'm just doing simple imputed math in my head. I expect this 6 will be probably even money or so, maybe even less.
He's still acting up, though, Matt. This could be.
So that's the alternative, is that people are saying, wait, this horse has no chance. This is now just the remaining stupid money on this horse, and all of the smart money is now going to the 4. Forget the multis at that point. There's new information. So, yeah, I'd much rather at that point be standing next to a horse expert, because I'm not that person.
Well, let's bring in our man on the grounds at Del Mar. Frank, could you see from where you are that Canada Gate is acting like a lunatic who's never had a bit in his mouth on the track?
I did not see because I was standing off to the side getting set up, but we could check out Tom Quigley's Twitter feed, Quigley's_corner, see if he said anything about the horse. But I'll tell you right now, Canada Gate, the first time I did this show, I gave out that horse.
Yep.
And I said after the race, no excuses. I don't know if I'll ever bet that horse again. Obviously has a big shot today, but I was looking elsewhere. I was looking for someone who is not exposed doing what they are doing today. And I landed on number 5, Semper Invictus, as my long shot play.
Love it.
2 sprints to a route for Ron Ellis, who's terrific. Blinkers on. I wasn't impressed by Canada Gate and a bit mischievous last time. They both got run down by Indispensable, who was an 0-for-8 maiden, by Sadler. Just grinding away. Those 2 horses had the best of it, and Indispensable had the worst of it and still won. So that was my thinking. Probably throw it out the window because one of these 2 horses is going to win, but I'm going fuzzy here.
Anytime you can go with the longest shot on the board, and that's a great concept that is not, we talk about it a lot on the pods, and I think I've got Jonathan having him said it on TV before, but that idea of exposed versus unexposed. And basically exposed form and exposed horses, we know how good they are. They've had their chances. Unexposed is, that maiden that wins by 2 under a hand ride. There's actually a great example of a completely unexposed horse in the first leg of the pick 6 at Saratoga on Saturday. I'm spacing on the name. It's the 5 runner. You'll know it when you look at the race. I'll take a look now so I don't put you away. But there's a horse in that race that just won so easily. Like, good figure isn't bad. It's not wildly better than everybody else, but the visual impression that rhetorical, the 5 in race 8 at Saratoga on Saturday gave, just completely unexposed. We have no idea how good this horse can be. And that's a great lens for looking at the world. And Frank also said something I want to underline. I love that. You must have made, I assume your memory isn't such that you recall that the winner of that race was an 0-for-8 Sadler. I assume that's the kind of trip you would have made in a product like DRF Formulator.
Yeah, well, I normally would, but no, I do remember it because I was so aggravated because I was doing this show for the first time and I was like, okay, this is the winner. My single, everything's going through this horse. This horse cannot lose today. Got the perfect trip, ranged up, and just idled. Now, maybe third start of the form cycle, the horse will be a little bit more fit, but I mean, Baffert always has his horses cranked up. I don't know why he would be taking such a long time with this one, but
right.
I don't know. But to the point, I said this on the seminar. I did the Simul show with Kurt Hoover today, and I said, I could be really stubborn, really, really stubborn. And I'm being stubborn here because my gut reaction after that race was, I want nobody coming out of this race. Now, granted, this field isn't very good either, so.
And the horse has chilled. He's dropped his head, and he's acting sensible. Have you looked at Saturday at Saratoga at all, Frank? Because we just got a question about Senor Buscador, but I don't know if you've looked yet.
I took a glance at that race. When I saw Senor Buscador was in there, I was completely flummoxed. I have no idea. I mean, that has to be, I don't know, a prep towards the Breeders' Cup or something. I don't
supposed
get
to be
it.
running in the Pacific Classic.
Right. It was so confusing to me. I'll grab the press box notes, at some point today and see what the quotes are on that horse. But I just thought it was very confusing to pick that spot.
I would be anti. I would be anti on principle.
Yeah,
because the horse is doing well. You're supposed to be running for the race that matters.
Exactly. I thought the two O'Neill horses. I mean, of course, the Chosen Brawn, but Happy Jack I thought was a little interesting, and I'm spacing on the name. But there was another. O'Neill had a speed horse who was coming from the Kentucky, who I thought had a little bit of a shot. All right, they're about to go off.
Okay, I'll talk us through this race.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said the race that matters. I mean, that is a very important race. It's just weird for a horse that's supposed to be a router. Okay, they're off, and a bit mischievous has made the lead. Canada Gate out wide going into that first turn, probably in about third position here at 2-1. A little bit mischievous, seizing a clear advantage. Jockey Cedillo has a double handful as Canada Gate now slides into a good attacking position under Hernandez. Third place is Concord Bridge. Looks like the West Point colors just being asked a little bit with the hands of Barrios. Fourth place, Frank's idea of a good long shot here. Semper Invictus and Magnify in last as they start to enter the turn. A little bit mischievous, still in first place. Positions remain unchanged at this point. No moves yet, but that's about to change as Canada Gate, who was pounded late, we see the 4-5 now showing up on the board, getting to the flank of a little bit mischievous, who responds immediately under those urgings of Cedillo. But I'll tell you what, Hernandez and Canada Gate just went by that one in the blink of an eye. Semper Invictus trying really hard to stay on from third. Canada Gate in first as heads return for home here. And the little bit mischievous early pace setter is trying to come back at the rail. This would be something because this horse had a length put on it. Unfortunately, Semper Invictus is done for the day. Late run from Magnify, but it doesn't matter. Canada Gate gets the job done here rather easily in the end in a race the Brits have a great expression for, Frank. A race not likely to live long in the memory.
No, I mean, that was just a grindy effort. I'm so unimpressed. That's what that horse was supposed to do last time, and he just hung and was just no good. Today was the day, third race of the form cycle. To Matt's point, the market signal, right?
Yep.
The horse wasn't bet off the board last time. Went off, maybe 2-1 or something. Was hammered today. So the market signal told the story there.
We called it when the horse was 9-5 and said, I don't remember what I said. I wouldn't be shocked at even money or 4-5.
Yep.
We were trying to determine if the wind pool was telling us signal from what was going on in the paddock. And right, I mean, the multis obviously gave us very good market signal on what people thought 30 minutes ago. As you watch that price drift down as they got closer, I mean, it was obvious as heck this horse was winning.
Yeah, I would have. The fears I had were allayed by the fact that the horse calmed down while getting to the gate. I mean, not the most genuine horse, I don't think, from those early antics, but it clearly calmed down enough to be backable, at least at those better odds. What did you end up playing there, Matt? Is that a decent result for you? We do have a big price in second with Magnify.
I don't know, but the point I was going to make is just this is a little bit of a Yogi Berra-ism of mine. This is the kind of situation where I'll make a big win bet on a horse like that at 7-5. The horse will drift to 4-5, and I'll be thrilled. And my buddies will not understand why I'm happy that my price is falling. And the answer is I am more sure I'm winning than I was when I made that bet, obviously. So I do think the money talks. All right, so looking at this particular race and looking at who I think I had the 6th.
You had Canada Gate on the good ticket.
Yeah. So great. 2 races to go. I should be in first now. Great.
Yes, that's very exciting. All right, I'm going to let you guys talk for just a second while I go get a glass of water, and I'll be right back.
He does this to us every time.
Every time, but I'm prepared this time, Matt. I entered this contest this morning before I had all my responsibilities. Do you want to give us a run through the quick leaderboard? I don't think I've done anything, but if you have access to it, this race hasn't become official yet, so we can wait a minute. But
exactly.
Are you doing your 1-1-1-1-3-3-3-5-5-5 strategy?
No, actually, I'm going to confess that today I tried to be a little bit more strategic. I still didn't look at past performances or anything like that, but I did feel for a somewhat shorter contest of 7 races with some shorter fields, I decided to make a bet that this was going to be a contest that didn't have a lot of long shots.
Right.
So I very intentionally, as I went through my 3 entries, tried to vary up my picks by taking basically the first 3 favorites every time, and just like what has worked out so far, hoping to get a disproportionate number of them on one ticket versus the other. And okay, that's what so far is working out well.
So this was on your good ticket, you said, and are you currently in first?
Nope, second. David had, I think, the place horse and got enough for that. So I'm still sitting in second, which I'm delighted with. So I'll do a quick run down the board for you. We're going to count down to 17.
It's not official yet, is it, Matt?
No, it's not. It's not. I don't know.
No, it just now.
Just went. Just went.
I promise I'm not a fortune teller.
620
for more wealthy if I was.
620 for the place price, FYI.
That's healthy, yeah. So David Pears is still in first. I'm in second. Mike Gillum moved up, is now in third. Hi, Mike. In fourth, tied, John Van Neal and Julie Leboyko. Sixth is GT Nixon. Hey, GT. Seventh, Michael Sussman. Hi, Mike. Eighth, Hector Huertas. Ninth, Matthew McJunkin. I've been called that before. 10th, Jason Phillips. 11, Arthur Winter. 12, Wayne Tam. 11, Alan Rohrer. 14, Hatris Smith. 15, friend Michael Donabill. 16, we see Michael Cabana's name all the time. And 17, Steve Nemitz. But Steve is not safe. 60 cents is between, is the line right now between making the cut and not making the cut. And as
more to go.
Right,
more to go. We got the nightcap at Saratoga. I didn't get it. Michael is actually live at Saratoga today. Michael Domable. I didn't get to go see him. I'll see him Saturday. I'm doing English TV tomorrow, so I feel bad. I wanted to get over to see him today, but it was just ended up being a chaotic day. So somebody I was sitting with today made an amazing observation, and it tied into Matt and his approach, looking at market signals and such. I don't even know if you remember this name, Frank. It took me a minute to remember it, but I wrote about this player, SoCal player. He might still be around. He could be there today for all I know. Do you remember a guy called Golden?
Yes, of course. He was Sotman's friend. Yes. He's a big poker player. Yes,
right. He was a poker player. So he came at horse racing from another gambling endeavor.
Yes.
And I remember him doing really well in contests, no racing form, just looking at market signals.
Yeah, right? On track. We used to do the $40 one on track, which, as we said, was the toughest, cheapest contest in the world.
Until Contest Jockey came along.
There you go. Right. But that was on track. And yeah, Golden would just show up. He'd look at the horses in the paddock, talk to Quigley, talk to the handicappers, and just, look at the market and make his own decisions. I have not seen him since COVID. I hope he's okay. He's a super nice guy. Was one of, our friend Jeff Sotman's dear friends. And he was one of us. He just loved everything about gambling. Like I said, big poker player, loved to come to the track. So yeah, Golden. That's funny. I'm going to ask Tom about him when we wrap up here.
My friend Jared Black, who plays in all the contest jockey games. Jared is actually tied for the winning most contest jockey player in our beta games. Well, he and Mike Novak, the founder, each have 6 wins.
Okay.
We need to clarify. I don't think the raw number of wins is a fair. It's got to be percentage or something like that.
Well, if that's the case, you might be looking at number 1 right here, because I've won 4 of the things and I haven't played that much.
I agree. You might. I think I'm up there too, percentage wise. But they've had an awful lot of at bats. I want to make a joke at the direct expense of one of our dearest friends, Marshall Graham, just so people can understand just how challenging this format is. Marshall has had far more success in the BCBC than at Contest Jockey.
That's remarkable when you think about it.
Well, 40 now,
it is really, really hard. It's the level of strategy required. It's just a totally different kind of game, and it's crazy. It really makes you nuts towards the end with all the game theory. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. Well, it brings in a lot of those poker elements. Who's that?
That's Golden. I found his Twitter feed, Ron, and he tweeted as of July 12th. So hopefully all things are good with him. So haven't seen him at the track in a while, but
why did we call him Golden, Frank?
Because he had everything he touched turned to gold. He was one of those guys who just had luck on his side. But
I don't know anybody like that.
I have another friend who's like that too. Everything he touches, boom. But yeah, he had the King Midas touch. That's why we called him Golden.
Oh, that's great. That's very fun. All right, Will. 2 things. One, just a good joke. So, Matt, I made the same observation when Novak and Jared were arguing about. There was a brief discussion. One of them thought they had 7 and who was the best, and I said something like, I don't know why you guys are arguing about this when a guy who's played 10 times and has 4 wins is sitting here. Strike rate wise, it's got to be me. And they said when they talk about, how many majors Nicklaus won and Tiger Woods won, they don't talk about the percentage. They talk about the
numbers.
Just like they do the Eclipse Awards. We can look at the body of work and we can have a vote at the end of the year. Some horses race more than others. That's fine.
They might hold against me that 2 of my wins were at Ascot. So,
yeah, I would hold that against you too.
Yeah, that might get held against me. I might be accused of being a specialist. But the other thing about Contest Jockey, while we're talking about it, we're actually giving away biggest prize that you've seen yet, and you could lead it to a Breeders' Cup betting challenge seat, because tomorrow, King's Plate contest on Contest Jockey, free to play. You have to be U.S. based, or at least you can't be Canadian based to participate. But the winner gets a seat, and second and third advance to a final table for a contest that we're going to do in a few weeks' time. So that's a no-brainer. ContestJockey.com. Get there, start there for free. Get a BCBC seat. That's going to be awesome. 4 minutes to race 10 at Saratoga. We'll get to that in a minute. I think we've touched on most of the things that I had on my list to button up. But Chris has a comment for us. Let's pop that in there. Talking about the favorite, the 3-runner, a 5-2 shot. He likes the number 6, La Salvadorena. And interesting. I would get a better price on the 1 runner. Yeah, sometimes workouts can change that. All right. So, Jackson, this is another thing I want to talk about, because I said something stupid before. I hadn't looked yet. I didn't realize that Senor Buscador was in a sprint stake. I thought he was like running in an allowance race or something when I said he was in the wrong race. So yeah, okay, that's interesting though. So Buscador using the race
as a prep,
California Crown and the Classic. How interesting!
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
How weird and interesting and old school is that?
Yeah, weird. Just weird.
But it is a win-and-you're-in too.
That's true, but for the mile, I don't think that horse wants a lot longer. Yeah, it's for the mile.
I wonder if Breeders' Cup will work with you on that. You know, I don't know.
It's a win-and-you're-in for the mile. I think that's it. You win the race, you get a.
Is that right? So
it's to the dirt mile. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's.
I just think he's going to be.
He's not in it to win it. He's not in it to win it.
He's starting the race in Tijuana, Frank. How's he gonna get to the line first?
I think it is weird, but you're right. It is a typical old school move. Start at 7 furlongs. Then you have the California Crown, which is going to be a super, super rich race. And then, the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's an old school, three race campaign, distance incrementally increasing each time. So, why not?
I'm coming out for that, and we're trying to get Matt to come out for that. I assume you'll be around for that. If you're in the
California Crown, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun weekend. They're trying to get some Pegasus vibes on the West Coast with the California Crown in late September. Great weekend of racing too. That'll be, frankly, a lot of horses will be making their last start before the Breeders' Cup this weekend and next. But for those that want a little bit more recency, you're going to have some amazing racing that weekend and then the following weekend at Keeneland. Matt, what are your Keeneland plans? Will you be there for the contest in person?
I hope so. I would like, it's an easy enough place to get to for me that I could picture that being a twice a year place. It's I don't have many places like that, but there's so many good memories. It's so nice. The people are so cool that, that's my hope. And if I can do it for contest weekend, great. Otherwise, I seem to remember, I think my buddy Howard's going there the week before. And so
Fall Stars is big.
So I might have a choice as it turns out.
Speaking of Howard, if I can interject, he's going to be the best bet guest on Sunday.
Oh, that's amazing! I didn't know he was
on the live stream. Yeah. He's going to do the live stream on Sunday morning at 11 that I do from Ranch 45. I've had Howard on before, and he's terrific. As you know, he's a professional with his own podcast, and he's one of the sharpest guys around. So that should be a lot of fun.
He does great work. We're big fans. Friendly podcast over there with HHH. And that's great that you're having him on. Very, very sharp. He's been doing some great writing for us also over at InTheMoneyPodcast.com. Hoping to keep him in the fold there. They're out on the track for this 10th race at Saratoga. Matt, who do you have on your good ticket? What are you seeing in the market? Are you considering any hedging?
So it's funny, when we talk about tickets, my real life pick 4, which is substantial, has the 3 and the 6. Okay, so now looking at the contest, I happen to have the 3 on the good ticket. So, okay, easy enough. Works. 3 or 6.
Gotcha. So you'll just leave it there.
Yep.
If you look, probably down in last place. I think I'm down there somewhere. I don't think I hit on anything, but I think I have the 3 also, so I'm blocked.
What about, so like in this situation, Matt, where there's 3 runners and then kind of the rest of the field, what would make you not want to do anything with the 1?
The hedging discussion is a long discussion, but I didn't really handicap. This was much more of a bettor's ticket than a handicapper's ticket. And so I didn't really have an opinion on the 1. The ticket I constructed, I felt good about the 2 horses that I had taken. And maybe if I was sitting right next to a betting window, I'd probably yell over real quick, give me, X bucks on the 1 to win just to cover myself. But in general, I don't believe in hedging unless something has changed. And nothing's really changed. I mean, at least based on the theory I had when I made the bet, nothing's changed from that. And so maybe another reason to hedge would be if the amount was so gigantic that it's just so irresponsible to do nothing, but that's not really the case. So yeah, I'll sit here and watch and hope that my initial guesses of 3 or 6 are right.
All right, let's see. They're about to pop in the nightcap at Saratoga. I'm on Saturday's card, so it's going to take me a minute. Looked like the 8 runner didn't break great out there, sort of marooned in the middle of the track. The 2 goes right to the lead. That horse is Precisely. That's interesting. I'm seeing this very differently than the chicklets on the screen, but we're not going to worry about them. Blackfoot Daisy, head up and down, bobbing around, not looking super comfortable, but in second place. I would imagine the rider will, Johnny is going to give that one its head and just get in that classic John Velasquez position right now in those Wesley Ward silks, just right at the throat latch of Precisely. The 6 runner is that La Salvadorena, whom we spoke about. Is that the La Penta silks now making a big run down the center here, 5.5 furlongs, but the 2 still in position. That's Precisely. And finally now La Salvadorena leveling off and looks like going to take some big beating from here. The 8, who is out too late. Funny name for a horse that was in the pack and then produced out maybe a little bit too late for the win, but not too late for the place for the Maker Vasquez combination at 17-1. But the winner, La Salvadorena, and no, that was the Alonso Racing silks, I believe, for that one. Good pick by Chris in the comments. Looked like about 5-2 in the end on that one. So yeah, one of the 2 that you had mentioned, Matt, gets the job done. So
I need to go back and listen to that, because I'm pretty sure that was one of the worst race calls I've ever heard. It
was horrible.
I thought I lost, and now because my video is on delay from what you're saying. And I'm looking on the video, and I'm like, the 6 looks great. What's he talking about?
What did I say? I don't even remember. I was just giving you my honest assessment. I mean, I can't remember a single word I said during that.
I thought I lost. That's amazing.
That's very funny.
But I will say, Pete, your race call of the Del Mar race was fantastic. I think you practiced that because you knew the names. You were calling them by names. You had a really, really good job. But I agree with Matt. That last one was awful.
I talked to Miramati last week. Actually, it was on Thursday night. I saw him, and I was explaining about because we had that great question about why not the numbers, and he was just very derisive about the whole number thing. And so I decided this week I actually have a monitor and was going to look at the names. I don't remember what I said. I mean, to me, there was no difference between the 2 calls. I feel like I saw the run of the 8, so I feel good about that. But I don't remember what negative I said about La Salvadorena.
I just would have expected more of a definitive, like, okay, and that's your winner, and let's talk about the rest now. And
yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard business. There's no doubt about it. But I'm having fun. We're trying to make the best of not having the videos. But yeah, that one.
It would be a great karaoke night amongst buddies, honestly, if you just put races on mute and made each other try to call races with effort to see how bad we all are. I mean,
it's so hard.
It's really hard.
So hard.
Michelle Yu, though, does a fantastic job when she's on with us. We got to get her before the season's over. She's been a highlight of HorsePlayers Happy Hour since the first year. 1 year doing it literally from the gutter in Saratoga on Caroline Street. That was something. We'll get her back in action here before too long.
I have a funny story about Michelle if you have 2 minutes.
Of course. I'll tell you how many minutes we have. We have 9 minutes before the last race at Del Mar.
I love Michelle so much. I think she's so good and such a hard worker. And I love her because she always gives me business. She always gives me the business.
If she likes you, she gives you the business.
She gives you the business.
There's probably something wrong with you.
Yes, she gives me the business like nothing else. And then whenever I have her on my show, we go head to head. She beats me, and I got to hear about it. So last summer, we had her on the show. She won fair and square, and I owed her a bottle of champagne. And Scatoni, you suck, blah, 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 blah. And then Terry, eventually we gifted her the bottle of champagne. And from that moment on, she's been a lot softer to me. So we call it the taming of the ewe instead of the taming of the shrew. The taming of the ewe. she still gives me business, but she does it just a little more
A little
delicately.
more lovingly after you give her that bottle with the yellow label that she likes.
Exactly. So I love
I don't know
her.
if Breeders' Cup has a champagne sponsor, so we'll leave it kind of subtle. But yeah, that's definitely the one. All right, 8 minutes to race 4 at Del Mar. That's our last race in this contest. We will have a leaderboard update.
Yeah, what's
I'm
it
going
look
to make
like?
Matt Miller do it again because he did such a good job last time, and no good deed here goes unpunished.
I'm happy to, and I'm psyched looking at the names. So NHC champ Mike Gillum has pulled into the lead.
Mike.
Julie Leboyko second, Jason Phillips third, Steve Nemitz, David Piers has fallen to just fifth, not too bad. I've fallen to sixth, not too bad. Stu Cantor, Matt Letexier, I think is how you said that last time, Steve.
That's my best guess.
Matthew McJunkin, I'll make that joke every time. Brad Anderson up to 10th. Andrew Uretsky, John Van Neal, Jeff Van Dree, GT Nixon still up there. Michael Sussman, 15th. Hector Huertas, 16th. Matthew McJunkin, again, I've been called that before, 17th. And then Bubble Boy, just on the outside, is entry number 2 of mine. So
interesting. And that's a great position to be in, Matt, because at 3-1, that'll put you up there into a tour point winning place potentially if that horse wins, won't it?
2 shots at it. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to get too, it's not the problem with the pick and pray, but it's one of the consequences of one. There's no point to any mental gymnastics at this point. It's all locked and loaded. The prices are going to be what they're going to be. I don't even bother doing the math and calculating anything. I don't look at the odds. There's nothing you can do. It's completely out of your hands. And so, right, hopefully you're within striking range. And the nice thing about this contest, top 2 really matters. Top 10 matters. Top 17 matters. And there's a lot of people within range of those different groupings. And so there's a lot of people still alive.
You are drawing live to win the whole thing today, are you not?
All right, now I got to look to be a little more.
Yeah, who does he have?
I have the 2.
He's the top person who has the 2.
So unless some crazy placed price, I could picture something wacky like that. But if the 2 wins, at least for a little while, I'll feel pretty good.
Good chance. And there's no difference. Well, no, that's not true. There's 10 tour points difference between 1 and 2, but there's effectively no difference between first and second in this contest.
Yeah, Pete. So you're the editor of a book that I've written. Tell me again. There's no difference between first and second. Tell me again.
Well, Matt is a big believer in the emotional value of coming out on top, and we've seen some aggressive play in various formats for that. But this is one where if you could lay up for second, I mean, you'd almost have it's not really possible, but theoretically, if you could lay up for second when the difference is 10 tour points,
of course. But given that you can't, let the competitive juices still flow. I still want to win. If it ends up being second, great. I mean, certainly no complaints with that. But I care.
What's the last tournament you laid up at the end in?
I did that.
Really? I was going to say I thought that one happened on the 12th.
I did it 2 times. Career. but I did it 2 times. I can't remember, and it did not work out one of the 2 times. And so that maybe has damaged my potential for doing this again.
Interesting.
The other time it did work out fine, but it was a very flat structure where really it would have just been ego to say I want to be first versus second. And look, I'm not above that even, but not to the point of being stupid with money. I'm not going to do that. So in that case, laying up made perfect sense. I think it was one of those cases where like the top 5 all got the same thing. And so just get in the top 5.
Yeah, at that point, it just doesn't matter.
Does anyone have the 3 who could win I gave the 3 a little bit of a look.
Julie Laboyko is a dime in second place. So yes,
she has the 3.
She has the 3.
Okay,
So even
nice.
place from that would be extremely beneficial.
And Michael Sussman, who's back in 15th, is the next person with the 3, but he's only $12 back.
Yeah, so that would get
Right.
that would be your exacta.
Yeah.
If that one were to win. It's fun. There are very fun permutations, even with the established win place format, pick and pray for sure. Who was your pick, Frank, in the big race on Saturday?
In the which one? Which the Travers?
In the big. I'm assuming you haven't looked at that as a California guy. I'm talking about Chosen Braun versus Senior Buscador, the Pat O'Brien Win-and-You're-In action for the Breeders' Cup.
I'm definitely going to look at the Travers card. Actually, I have it downloaded. I'm ready to go. I'm excited about it. I haven't really handicapped the race, but as I mentioned, I thought the 2 O'Neill horses, Happy Jack, and then I forget the other one's name. I don't have my form with me, but
Raging Torrent.
Yeah, Raging Torrent. The really fast horse. I thought maybe that horse had a little bit of a shot, but the race goes through Braun. It's just simple as that. You gotta be to be the best. You gotta beat the best, right? A wise man once said.
1 minute here. I'm going to try to do a better race call for this one. You guys have shamed me.
Yeah, good luck. This is going to be a tough one. 5 furlongs on the turf.
We got 9. It'll be interesting, but I'm going to do my best. I mean, I will try to. I'm obviously talking through it when I'm saying, I might actually try to call the race. Just I feel challenged.
Yeah, give it. You did a really good job on the other Del Mar.
Well, I think there were about 6 horses in it.
There were.
We won't make fun of you no matter what. We'll say nice things.
No. I'm one of the few in this game. I'm in the 10% of people in this game who have thick skin, so it's okay.
Okay, get ready then.
Oh, you have to have thick skin.
Well, on the betting side, if you hang around, you probably
Yeah, you get your teeth kicked in some days. You have to put them back in and come back the next day. It's not easy.
That was more meant to be industry humor.
Yes, of course.
Flamingo's queen in the slam dunk silks makes her way up there. 2-year-old maidens going the flying 5 at Del Mar, starting to lure right now.
Do you have any word on the one from European import here? Anything?
Let me take a look at the form.
Yeah, 8-1 on the line.
Nace isn't a track that is like an auto bet for me, but I mean, just on the breeding, you wouldn't rule it out. You would think the 5 would be way too sharp for this horse, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe the 1 can get up for second or third, but I think the 2. Obviously, I think the 3 is going to be very sharp today.
Interesting. Well, Mendez, this is his gig, isn't it?
Absolutely, and he's got Ricky Gonzalez, and he's a very aggressive rider. He will put this horse in the race. Problem is with these 5 furlong turf sprints, it's all about the break. It's just so many races are won and lost at the start, and it's so.
How is Mendez on turf? Does Mendez win on turf?
He doesn't have that many starters on turf, but my philosophy is always, by the time the horse finishes the race at 5 furlongs, they don't even know that they were on turf. Because it's so short.
Yeah, it's just a speed situation.
Yeah, I did have a note though. Let me see real quick, because when I did the final show, Mendez and Gonzalez teamed up for a debut turf sprint winner at Santa Anita recently at almost 7-1. So it is not without precedence that these two can win on the turf in a sprint with a debut horse.
All right, Matt, you've got 2-9. Is the 2 going down to 6-5 messing with you?
I don't think so. Again, I just don't get too much into them. No, it should be okay. It'll probably depend on who gets second, honestly.
Right, at that point. Tiger of the Sea hesitating a little bit. The 9 Twirling Light also yet to load. I think I need to, if I want to try to call it, I think I just have to not worry about the numbers. I think I'm using the numbers as a crutch.
Yeah. Just go for it, Pete. You got this.
Now they're off on my TV. Flamingo's Queen breaks a step slowly. Sophistry, the heavy favorite, going right to the lead. Seizing command, taking this race by the absolute scruff of the neck. Not really being even asked for that blazing speed she's showing up front. Meanwhile, you've got Tequila and Therapy in second place. And a move from Tiger of the Sea now up into second in good attacking position as they enter the turn. Sophistry still on the lead, but has to deal with this menacing move from Tiger of the Sea, who goes right up and by her, though we'll see if Sophistry has any answer for that one as they turn for home. Looks like quite a battle up front. The others look too far behind to get involved. This is a ding-dong battle. Sophistry trying to find down at the rail. Tiger of the Sea continuing to attack her. About one length between them now. Sophistry getting the better as they approach the finish line. It's Sophistry over Tiger of the Sea and Tequila and Therapy for third.
What a great race. They hooked up at the top of the lane.
Pete, that was fantastic.
That was good.
I could actually picture the entire thing.
Well,
you said that they had separation on the field. Like
you're supposed to call the other horses. Is the problem?
I was just going to say
That's
there
also
were
calling on
8 other horses in the race, but
exactly 3 horses got calls. But I mean, to be fair, for Horse Players Happy Hour, only 3 horses mattered.
Right?
Did you get the text? But
no,
as a race caller, but that's also the difference calling on TV with binoculars and being there.
Look,
You have to call every horse.
That was good.
Friend. I had a crazy friend in high school. Crazy. The guy would make bets. He would stand right next to me while the race was going off with his hands over his eyes, telling me, tell me what's happening. Because he didn't want any of the other noise. He just wanted to know his horse. So kind of just like you did, you called only the relevant information, really. And, well, that's what I would do for my buddy. I mean, I thought it was crazy that he was standing there and he wouldn't look, but the visual made him nuts, apparently. So
that's very, very funny. I mean, right, getting the info but not being able to look. I think we can relate to it on some degree. Even money in the end on Sophistry. That was a nice effort, though. I mean, the horse. The impressive thing to me was how easily she made the front without really even Maldonado asking her. This was a horse who'd had other races, put down some big pace figures. Do you remember that race on August 1st, Frank, where Sophistry made the running and then ended up being second to one called Super Speed? Has that turned out to be a decent race or anything?
I have not looked at the form from that race, but I believe that horse, Sophistry, was a flow upgrade out of that race. So
for sure,
yeah. So that horse was definitely a likely winner today. I'm just looking at the horse who gave her some trouble. That 4 Tiger of the Sea, a first-time starter, Brian Corner and Armando Ayuso. From Smiling Tiger and Carmen's Mystery on the bottom. I didn't have anything on that horse. That horse made that menacing move, and they hooked up. And Sophistry was very game to fend her off. But that's where the experience comes in, right, Pete? I mean, Sophistry had a couple of races. Was probably more fit and ready for that stretch duel than the first-time starter.
Yeah, it did look like the 4 was going to go by for half a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the other good news. It was the last race of the day for me. All of my scraps got placed. So I had to bet my scraps somewhere. So I have more scraps to deal with, apparently, because every account had little bets on Sophistry as well as I was cleaning things up.
Very nice. It comes 2, 4, 7, 9, Sophistry, Tiger of the Sea, Tequila and Therapy, the best therapy when you're at the Pacific Coast Grill, where we're going to be in a few days. So I think, Frank, I'm going to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Wednesday too. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, PCG sunset dinners. You let me know what you're in for.
All right. I will definitely let you know.
I should maybe keep Friday. Maybe Friday should be family only, but the other 3 you and whatever guest you want to pull in.
Thursday we're going to go see a band called Radio 80s. They play a lot of hair metal from the 80s. Up at Coyote, so you have to come with us to that. So maybe the PCG.
Where?
It's you know what? It's 6 to 10, so you can still do the sunset and get up there for the last 2 sets.
At the Kraken or where?
No, it's at a place called Coyote Bar and Grill in Carlsbad.
Oh, Carlsbad. I love Carlsbad.
Yeah.
I just have to see the family are getting in that night. So it's just a question of when they get in.
Okay.
I can't see whisking them off the plane and taking them to the show. It's not Bullies in Del Mar, after all.
No, it's definitely not. But, I think parents should really be introduced to hair metal of the 80s.
She would probably enjoy it. She's got eclectic musical taste.
What does she listen to?
What's that?
What does she listen to?
The Hamilton soundtrack is big.
Okay.
She's a low-key Swiftie. All I hear is how I'm going to make a very, very cheeky joke now because I've had 2 beers. All I've heard for a couple of weeks is how I have to take her to see Sabrina Carpenter, which I didn't know who it was, so I wasn't that excited. And then I saw a video, and I was like, yeah, we could go.
Yeah, that might be okay. Yeah.
It says official, but it hasn't rung up yet.
I'll come too, Pete.
Susan is not watching the show. It's okay. It's okay, folks. There's some sort of
pop stars are stars delay for a reason.
Some sort of minor tote delay here, as it says it's official, but we're not rung up on the leaderboard. We will get that. We'll do that one time, and then I'm going to this BCCA thing. Marshall Graham's odds of turning up, I'd say he's about a 2-to-1 shot at this point, based on how green he still looked when I saw him.
What is this event?
So it's the Belmont, the Backstretch Association, great charity, very important event. We bought a table. We're going. We probably have an extra seat because Marshall apparently got a wild hair last night and was drinking with the youngs, and it didn't go well.
Well, hair of the dog. Well, hair of the dog.
It's off the street.
So
520 for Tiger of the Sea. You go ahead, Frank, and then we'll have Matt do our final leaderboard update.
Oh yeah, I would, and I'd love the opportunity for the flex because I can't. This has got to be a first in your show's history that the guy doing the rundown of the leaderboard gets to say, hey.
First place is me.
First place is me. So by $1.50, Stu Cantor also hit that 2-horse, so he joined me in second. That's a rough beat for Mike Gillum, who was leading going into that race and obviously finishes third. It's just interesting, just a quick look down the right column. There just weren't a lot of people with that 4-horse for second. So that was something that was obviously worrisome to me. If Mike had had that or if Julie had had that, I would have had a problem. All right, I'll keep going. So Mike third, Julie LeBoyko, whose name we've said all afternoon, hung on for fourth.
Hey, Bob, how you doing? All right.
Fifth, Jason Phillips sixth, Steve Nemeth seventh, Hector Huertas eighth, Matthew McJunkin, heard that before, ninth, David Pierce 10th, John Van Neal 11th, Jeff Van Dree 12, Matt Letexier 13, Brad Anderson, congrats, 14, Andrew Uretsky 15, Christopher Olson 16, and Michelle McSweeney 17. This is it's a tough beat for another good friend of mine, David Harrison, NHC champ, just on the outside in 18th by a stinking 40 cents.
He's laughing all the way to the bank, though.
He's gracious.
That NHC win, wonderful guy, but that NHC win, that bought, he can have a few tough beats and still be on the right side of the ledger there.
He's a good guy, and I think seeing the number of friends above him, I think you would have been happy about the results anyway. So
yeah, I think it's okay. Matt, you read that so well. It's almost like you should do an audio book. Give us a plug.
Yes.
A better way of narrating. A better way of thinking. Available everywhere. Go to the website. Yeah, nice plug. Thanks, Pete.
A better way of thinking, which we somehow hadn't plugged yet today. Very proud of the book. It's been one of the talking points of Saratoga this year. A lot of people very excited and interested. Was talking about it today with some industry people. Great stuff. Appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you, Frank. Frank, I'll see you next week. Oh,
wait.
I can't point my finger the right way. It's confusing with the mirror thing. PCG, we're going to get it going. It's going to be fun. If you're out at Del Mar, look us up. Maybe I'll do the show live from Del Mar next week.
Absolutely. You have to.
Yeah, well, we can just stand together down there, and we should get Ryan, the intern, on.
Yep,
I feel bad we didn't have really space for him today, but
understood, no problem.
I'm excited to have him on. Please let him know he'll be part of our coverage soon.
Sweet, awesome.
Yeah, maybe we'll do, you know what? Because I'm there for all the racing days, maybe we'll add some In the Money Plus coverage, and I'll get him to do a day with me because I want to look at it every day, obviously, while I'm there. So that's what we're going to do. He's going to do a plus show with me next week. You've been doing a great job, and frankly speaking, as well on the In the Money Plus side.
And speaking of plus, I'm doing a recording with Mike today to do a Saturday late pick 4, and we've had some good price horses that we've talked about. So let's hope the momentum keeps going.
I love it.
That will be for Saturday's late pick 4.
Mike does
so I got to go work and handicap those races.
Yeah, we'll let you do that. Matt, we'll let you get on.
Congrats, Matt.
Your evening. I've got to go raise some money for kids. So for everybody, for JK, for Matt Miller, for Frank Scatoni, for everybody on the leaderboard, for everybody in the comments, for our friends at Breeders' Cup, especially Justin and Haley, I'm Peter Thomas. Hey, you and all your photos.